This is absolutely shocking. We now likely know why Melania Trump gave this Epstein press conference the other day. It's because of this woman, Amanda Ungaro, who has been friends with Melania Trump for 20 years. And that right there is her husband, Paolo Zampalli, who Trump appointed to the Kennedy Center board as well as a special envoy to the United States. But he also happened to be a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein and appears in the Epstein file over and over again, 16 different times. In fact, Paolo claims to have introduced Melania to Trump in 1998. Now, his wife, Amanda, who was friends with Melania Trump for 20 years, was on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express multiple times. But Amanda is now angry because Paolo here asked Trump to deport her over a custody battle over their son. So Amanda is now speaking out, threatening legal action and to spill the beans on everything. And she's going to tear Melania down as well as the system. And that she's not afraid.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I never been friends with Epstein. I never been friends with Epstein. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. Casual correspondence. Casual correspondence.
Casual correspondence is crazy because we all seen the files. We all seen the emails, and none of those emails were casual correspondence. I've never even seen a group of grown-ass people just email each other the most disgusting, vile things through email. So the one thing those emails aren't is simple correspondence. There were cold words. There was grape soda, pizza. That was not casual correspondence. And the second thing I want to point out is that you got to remember her husband, Donald Trump, was in the in the files, I'll just say 39 or 35,000 times. And beef jerky. And you actually, and whoops was in there also, which means somebody passes away. You actually think you are just a casual person and you're not friends with these people when your husband now is in the files 35 or 39,000 times. Are you crazy? Let's keep going. And everybody drop your city in the chat. I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm going to talk about that also. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. And share this video because this is bombshell evidence and information that will blow this whole thing up. And yes, a lot of this has something to do with Erica Kirk.
My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump.
The book was published yesterday in the US and UK. And in fact, it contains a passage in which Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced.
And just in case you didn't hear that correct or hear that clearly, in a passage, this is somebody that was around. They wrote a book and they literally said that, I don't even know if we can still say his name. So we're just going to say Jeffrey EpiPen. Okay, we're going to make up a name. Give me a name to use for Jeffrey. We're going to say Jeffrey EpiPen. Jeffrey EpiPen was sleeping with Melania before he introduced Melania to Trump. And this woman is trying to get in front of everything and act like none of this stuff happened. So EpiPen, is that a good name? Give me another name if y'all want me to use another name. But right now I'm just going to use Jeffrey EpiPen. So, but the thing about it is some of y'all are saying, oh my God, well, This is the funnel that is the modeling agency. See, the modeling agency is the funnel in which how all these guys get women. So you sign a girl up to be a model, you sleep with her, and you pass her around to other guys that are in the industry, and then somebody just decides to wife the woman up. So you remember listen, I'll get into that in a second. I want to play the video. Drop your city in the chat, let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat, let me know where you at, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button.
His relationship with Melania.
Friendly reminder, Paolo Zampoli, a man who is in this current administration.
So Paolo Zampoli and his wife is why we're having this conversation. Paolo Zampoli, we're going to introduce him in a second, is the reason why Melania Trump is out of nowhere doing an impromptu press conference about something that nobody asked her about. So listen to this right here. I got so much information, it's going to blow your mind. Share this video, hit a like button.
The former modeling agent who brought Melania to the United States to meet and marry Donald Trump.
Right there. Paolo Zampoli is the one that brought a lot of these women, not just her. Remember, we talked about with Erica Kirk, how there's this pipeline from Romania. There's this pipeline from Argentina. They find tadpoles from these other countries, and then they bring them in. You know, we talked about this, pack them all into this little apartment, barely feed them. And next thing, because they need them to be small and skinny. And next thing you know, they get, you know, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk. It's so much to talk about. And this modeling thing is a pipeline. I'm just going to add this to it. I'm not going to play this right here. I'm just going to add this to it right here.
This Owens the other day.
You know, I'm just going to play this too. So this woman right here, just give y'all an understanding of the pipeline, and then we're going to go back to Paolo Zampoli, because I just don't want to lose y'all.
I was watching Candace Owens the other day, trying to make sense of Erica Kirk's New York City real estate career, wondering how Erica was put in charge of a group of Romanian models when she has no prior real estate experience.
So now y'all are starting to understand what I'm saying. It's all a pipeline from other countries to here, making them models, and the models get just, you know, blasted around to different dudes, and different dudes are blasting in their faces and all this other stuff. And next thing you know, it's going to be one dude who's going to be like, you know what? You'll be good. You'll be a good wife. And then they'll make the poor girl his wife.
I used to be a madam. I ran a high-end escort agency in Manhattan. I'm just the right person to add some perspective on this. Back in the day, I employed hundreds of signed models. In fact, many of them were from Eastern European countries. I normally worked with women who were in their mid-20s, so by the time most of these women had reached the interview with me, they were already considered old by modeling standards. In most of the interviews, these women told me stories of being picked up from their home country, recruited in their teens, being groomed, being brought to New York, put in small apartments, given limited money, and then being forced to go on potential fashion jobs, potential bookings, go-sees, whatever they're called. They would get to some of these, and some of the expectation was that they do schmexual favors, that they had to sleep with people in order to get booked.
In order to get booked. And that's how they get passed around, because they're like, okay, well, I'm in this new country. I might have better opportunities here. I can be a model. I can be famous. I can be an actress. And next thing you know, this is what happens next.
Now, a lot of times they did these things and they still didn't get booked.
And then they'll do the things and don't get booked because it's all a racket. See, there's a video I seen somewhere else where millions maybe thousands of young women. What's up, Mags? I ain't seen you in a minute. Millions of young women would leave their mom's house. I'm not even talking about other countries, just in America. They'll leave their mom's house and then they'll go out to LA to fulfill an acting career. And then they'll go out and do all these modeling or acting situations. And it's actually called the casting couch. It's a thing called the casting couch. And you sit down on a couch and then you got some old white man looking at you like, so why do you want to be a model? And then, well, I want to do this. And then he'll literally say, so who are you living with, or where are you living? I'm living in my car. I just came out here to fulfill my dream. And then next thing you know, he's like, interesting. So you don't have anywhere to stay? No, I don't have anyone. I'm just trying to film it. Oh, okay. So how bad you want it? I want it real bad. And next thing you know, he's just like, real bad? Real bad? Yes, real bad. And next thing you know, boom, he starts smashing her and all this other stuff. And then she doesn't even get anything. Then she turns around and ends up like on the track instead of on the movie screen. It's a thing.
By the time they were
And that's just American women
interviewing with me many years later, they would tell me all of these stories. They actually would say to me, we want to make money off of this because we're already used to this world. We've been exploited for a decade. Now we want to take our power back. I know that sounds weird, but many of them thought of working for me as taking their power back.
Because she was a madam and she would put the women on game and put the women in position where they can start sleeping with powerful men for money instead of sleeping with powerful men for no reason, or sleeping with powerful men for potential acting gigs. She would get with her and sleep with powerful men for the exchange of money instead of acting gigs.
From an industry that had robbed them of their childhood and all of their power. I understood this is what fashion is about.
Exactly, Crystal. It's basically what Diddy did. That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad you brought up Diddy, because I'm going to do a separate video about how Diddy may actually be getting out of prison. But it's a pipeline. It's an artist or a model pipeline. It's a preying on either tadpoles from other countries that don't have parents, these orphans, Erica Kirk with the orphanages, all these people with the orphanages, and they'll make the person feel like this is the only thing I have to do. And then next thing you know, you end up in this pipeline. And in the rap game, it wouldn't be orphans. It will be fatherless kids, fatherless girls, fatherless boys that know how to rap. And then P. Diddy will come in and say, hey, I can make you a star. I could put you on this song. I could put you on this album. And next thing you know, the young man who's just, in the projects and doesn't have a father, and then he'll do him the same way, because Diddy was gay. So Diddy would be taking advantage of the young boys, Black Rob, Biggie, all those guys, so it's the same thing. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. And if y'all are happy to see me back, drop popcorn emojis in the chat. If you're happy to see me back, drop popcorn emojis in the chat.
Now, I would think someone like Erica Kirk, who has risen to the title of Miss Arizona, who has years and years of fashion experience.
Remember, Donald Trump just randomly hit up Erica Kirk and was like, hey, you want to be a part of this pageant that I own? And she was like, okay, that's the pipeline.
That she understood this too, because there is no possible way that a man didn't approach you asking you to get the girls to do him some kind of favor. That is 100% the norm in that world. In fact, it is even the norm in politics, because I've been working in politics now for 16 years.
So now let's go back to the Zambino dude, whatever his name is, because we're about to match politics with this modeling pipeline, okay? So now we're going to match politics to the modeling pipeline. And now you're going to easily be able to see exactly how somebody like Donald Trump that owned a modeling pipeline became the president of the United States. And then how a young man comes in, Charlie Kirk, and gets introduced to a model who isn't really a model, but she's in the modeling pipeline. And next thing you know, for whatever reason, Charlie Kirk wakes up and starts talking and exposing all this and ends up dead. So let's go back to this young lady, because this young lady, let me see what her name is. This young lady, her name is Baka Day.
Casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump.
The book was published yesterday in the US and UK. And in fact, it contains a passage in which Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship.
And the same thing possibly with Tyler Boyer. And for those who didn't hear that, allegedly Melania was smashing Jeffrey EpiPen before introducing her to Melania Trump, because Melania knew, because we're going to get into this, Melania and this other young lady that was good friends, they both were they both were in this modeling pipeline through Jeffrey EpiPen. I'm trying to make sure I don't say his name, before she got with Donald Trump. So she was sleeping with him, EpiPen, before getting with Trump.
With Melania.
Further reminder, Paolo Zampoli, a man who is in this current administration.
And her name is Baka Day on TikTok. Becca Day, not Baka Day, Becca Day. BEKAHDAY. Shout out to her.
The former modeling agent who brought Melania to the United States to meet and marry Donald Trump, the former modeling agent who used to own ID models and worked closely alongside Trump models, longtime associate of Donald Trump, Jeffrey and Bill Clinton. And
see, this is how they all get together. And then it turns into politics. And how does the modeling pipeline get sucked into politics? Because politicians be trying to smash young women. And then that's where Jeffrey EpiPen comes in. So you have the modeling world over here, and then you have the politics over here. And then you got Jeffrey EpiPen right there in the middle, dealing with the politicians and dealing with the modeling agencies. And his job, Jeffrey EpiPen, was to bring the two worlds together. And then this is the reason why he had so much leeway amongst the presidents, because he had the women, he had the models.
United Nations diplomat who has been in a nearly 2-decade relationship with and has a child with one of the models who came to the United States as a young teenager from.
So here we go. This is the reason why Melania did that press conference right here, because this shit is crazy. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
From Brazil, and was signed to Paolo Zampoli's ID models. After she began working for him, she showed up on Jeffrey's flight logs when she was just 17 years old, flying alongside Jeffrey and Jean-Luc Brunel, the French modeling agent who passed.
Another French modeling agent. So I'm putting all this stuff together. How in the world did Donald Trump, who owned a modeling agency, who was just a celebrity, how did he become president of the United States? Because of EpiPen, Jeffrey EpiPen.
Passed away in the exact same manner that Jeffrey did. Like, literally. The girl who we're talking about here is named Amanda Ungaro, and she is the United Nations diplomat to Grenada. And she was arrested in Miami back in June under very strange circumstances. You can go watch my other videos about the topic if you have not seen it. I go more into depth. And after she was arrested, she was placed on immigration hold and set to be deported back to Brazil. How do you deport a United Nations diplomat? What are we?
Now, you heard that right. He had his own wife deported because of a custody battle.
Talking about?
And now she's in Brazil about to tell everything.
About a United Nations diplomat. How do you even arrest a United Nations diplomat who is in a common law marriage with someone who spends his weekends in Mar-a-Lago?
Oh, he didn't actually marry her. She's his baby mama. They were common law married. Okay. And do y'all have access to this this poll right here? StreamYard has a new thing where you can have a poll. Yes or no? Do y'all have access to this poll? Can y'all vote in this poll right here? And if y'all don't see a poll, just say, I don't see a poll. But do y'all see the poll? Is it on my screen or do y'all have access to it? Let me know if y'all can see this poll because it's something new. And can y'all hit it or vote or whatever? No poll. Okay. Wait, somebody is now hitting it because I don't know, out of nowhere, now people are doing something with it. Because everybody's saying no, they don't see the poll, but somebody's now hitting it. So who sees the poll and who doesn't see the poll? Because once I said something about it, y'all are voting on it. And let me know what I need to do for everybody to see it. It's on your screen, not yours, not ours. Okay. But how can y'all vote then? I do not see the poll. So how are some people voting? So I just want to make sure it's something new. I left and came back and don't see it. Okay. We can reply to your screen. Oh. Okay. Well, there's a poll on my screen and I'm trying to figure out how y'all can reply to it, but tell everybody in the chat who has replied to the poll how to reply to the poll. Just trying to help y'all out because some people have did it and some people haven't. We'll figure that out later.
And is a close personal friend of Donald Trump and is in the current administration. How does that happen? Since then, Amanda has been radio silent, literally radio silent, and Paolo Zampoli has been actively phasing her out of posts on his social media and has been posting with other women.
And Amanda and Paolo Zampoli are the people that are about to their situation is about to out Donald Trump and all the crazy things that Donald Trump has done
on his social media, along with his son. So he has his child while mother is MIA, as we heard, being deported. Where is Amanda? Like, something is just not right here. There are no updates of Amanda's whereabouts anywhere. And
I think she's in Brazil because he had her deported and now she's in Brazil trying to out Donald Trump and Melania Trump.
Anywhere. There is no court.
So Amanda is literally going to save all of us because if Amanda comes out and doesn't get unalived and puts all this stuff out, it literally will save America. So Amanda will literally save America if they don't get to her first. That's the reason why nobody can find her. She's somewhere in Brazil. And remember I talked about the Sasha Riley situation. I'm still going to do part 2 of Sasha Riley. Amanda knows about what happened to Sasha Riley.
Court updates. There is nothing. I'm digging more into the circumstances of her arrest because I'm starting to find things that do not line up and things that just don't make a lot of sense to me. Like something
everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
It's driving me crazy. Where is this girl? Where is Amanda?
I met my husband by chance at the New York City party in 1998. I met my husband by chance at the New York City party in 1998.
We met in New York 1996 in September. We met at the fashion party.
The first time I crossed
You see how Melania is just lying left and right? Melania is starting to act like Erica Kirk.
paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings.
Really?
Okay, another thing about Amanda Ungaro and Paulo Zimpoli. Something that I think is very strange about Amanda's arrest. If you haven't seen my other videos about this, go watch the other videos in this playlist. It'll make a
And again, her name is Becca Day on TikTok. She's really good.
lot more sense. So the circumstances of Amanda being arrested were she was in Miami working at what was called an unlicensed medical facility where cosmetic procedures were being done. It doesn't throw me off that she was in Miami. I know Paulo owns property in New York, Florida, all over the place. That doesn't surprise me. But the fact that she...
Did y'all just see what I seen? He's close to none other than Bibi Netanyahu. Now y'all see how all of this stuff is connected.
Procedures were being done. It doesn't throw me off that she was in Miami. I know Paulo owns property in New York, Florida, all over the place.
Look at that. This is what I'm saying. It's all freaking connected. This is crazy. And I just want to say this. In my opinion, no matter what president we get, we're going to have this problem. So just in my opinion, I might be wrong. I don't think Trump has control of any of this. And I think if Kamala would have won, I think this BB dude would have literally took over her and had her going to war. I might be wrong. I don't know. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is a good person. I think Donald Trump is a piece of crap, but he's compromised. But I think anybody who becomes president is compromised. And that's the reason why they are president, because they want a compromised person to become president in order for them to be controlled. And real quick, y'all, let's see. What the L, shout out to you, said, Mr. Let Go, this card game is $94. Yes, it's therapy in a box. So because she asked this question, she may be new here. A lot of the people in the chat have bought the card game. Let me show her exactly what this card game can do for anybody watching real quick. Check this out. A man, how to deal with a woman when she's upset. She doesn't want to fight. All right, here it goes. So this is for you because you're asking, why is it $94? This video will show any man how to deal with a woman when she's upset. She doesn't want to fight, just like you don't want to fight. But this is all she's known her whole life. Most women were either raised in chaos or raised with neglect. So with her, there's no middle ground. And your job as a man is to be the middle ground, is to ground her, is to be her foundation. See, the middle ground needs to be what she's standing on. It needs to be what keeps her from falling. But she never had a middle ground. So with her is either fight or flight, not staying and talking. See, the reason why she's like this is because she's emotionally irregulated. There's no stability. There's no structure. There's no understanding. Everything she does is wrong. So she gets to the point where if everything she does is wrong, she might as well crash out, because that's what people do to her. See, for a lot of women, I'll say most women, yelling and arguing has always been her only way of getting her point across. One, when she's in her feminine, nobody listens. And two, her mother yelled at her in order to get her point across. So she literally is operating like her mother operated with her, and she doesn't. And that part right there is so important. A lot of your mothers yelled at you, told you to be quiet, stay in the child's place, and yelling has become your default response to men or anybody you're around, because you always are in defense mode. And due to that, it affects your romantic relationships as a grown woman because you've been yelled at and your mom got her point across by yelling. So because of that, you think that's how you get your point across when you're dealing with a man. And next thing you know, your relationships keep falling apart and you don't even know why, but it's because of what your mother inadvertently taught you when it comes to how to deal with conflict. And that's what this card game helps you do. We have to unlearn how to deal with conflict because our mothers, sadly, gave us maladaptive skills, operated with her, and she doesn't know any other way of doing things. See, when I see a woman upset and mad in any situation, I don't see this monster. I see a hurt little girl that needs to be acknowledged. I'm not your adversary. That's what this girl is doing in this video. I'm here to offer you something and not take something away. Most men in a woman's past have always taken from her. That's why she's like this. But when she's able to see that you're here to add something to her, emotional regulation, guidance, structure, and the day she gets those things is when she turns into this. This is who she was before somebody stole her heart. Bring a woman her heart back and she'll share it with you forever. And just like in this scene, I'm here to offer you something. This is your heart. For most women, they have a void in their hearts that can only be filled by the acknowledgement of her mother. She needs her mother to affirm her. She needs her mother to apologize to her. She needs her mother to see her. By my mother-like daughter card game, if you can relate and you would like the transformation that happened in this scene, get this card game. The link is either under this video, over this video, or in my bio.
What I did was wrong. I'm sorry.
This is all she wants. All right, so I did that for her just so you can get an understanding of how important this card game is to any woman watching or any man watching, because a lot of you men have women that have maladaptive conflict resolution issues, and it usually comes from her mother. So, all right, let's get back to the video. But I did that for you because you were asking.
But the fact that she, a United Nations diplomat, who is in a common law marriage and has a child with Paolo Zappoli, longtime friend of Donald Trump, who is in the current administration, why was she working in a cosmetic procedure office in the first place? Whether the facility was permitted or accredited or whatever or not. What were the circumstances that led to her even working in a place like this? We remember when she was arrested, and we know Amanda is from Brazil, she was arrested alongside a doctor who is...
Amanda is from Brazil. So we got Brazil, we got Romania. She was arrested. This is so bad. This is so bad. Listen.
That led to her even working in a place like this. We remember when she was arrested, and we know Amanda is from Brazil, she was arrested alongside a doctor who is also from Brazil, received his doctorate degree, he became a physician in Brazil, so he's not licensed to practice in the United States, but he has received his training and everything from Brazil, so he's not...
And think about this. A BBL is called what? A Brazilian butt lift. BBL. And this woman is from Brazil, and she went to jail for doing something to somebody's body. All of this, man, all this is so freaking deep.
Just a random person. He did have training, but he wasn't licensed to practice in the United States. But he was also from Brazil, and he and her were both arrested in this sting operation. But this is what the staff from this alleged illegal medical facility looks like. It's a huge staff. Why were only 2 people arrested? If all of these people were allegedly illegally operating a cosmetic procedure clinic in Miami. It's important to note from the legal documentation that we have from this arrest.
And that guy right there is in the EpiPen files also. I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm going to do a separate video about that. But all of this stuff is so connected to politics.
Amanda was not ever operating under the guise of a doctor. It's also worth noting that there were multiple other doctors who were working at this facility actively working the same job as him, but they were not arrested. And it's also not like this was being operated like in secrecy or in hiding. There were workshops that were going on, there were events that were going on. Like it didn't seem like it was like this quiet underground operation. Their Instagram page is private now, but they even had like an Instagram page that was very active. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I pulled this off of their Facebook page. Like, they were not operating in secrecy or underground. There's Amanda right there. There's the rest of the staff. Like, this is a huge staff.
So Amanda is right there.
And you're telling me that this entire medical facility was being ran illegally and operated illegally. No one else was arrested other than the 2 people from Brazil. Like, it does not make sense to me. Out of all of these people, these are the only 2 who were arrested and set to be deported. Again, I'm not saying that like they didn't do anything wrong at all. Maybe they did. We don't know. That's the problem. There is no information. There's really so little information. There are no updates whatsoever about this case. There's no updates about these people's whereabouts. The last thing that we heard from Amanda is that she was set to be deported. That is the last thing. And this all happened right when the conversation surrounding Jeffrey started to amp up. She is someone who was on Jeffrey's plane at 17 years old. This is a potential victim of Jeffrey, who is currently missing.
See, a lot of these victims, they become just like with Cassie and Diddy. The victim becomes the aggressor because she doesn't want to be a victim anymore. Because once you get traumatized a certain amount of times, you just like, forget it. I don't have nothing else to live for. I'm just going to do crime also. And they become the same people that they start victimizing other people.
Off the radar, under very mysterious circumstances, after we know that she already tried to get out of the relationship that she was in with Paolo Zampoli back in 2018. Paolo Zampoli called in favors not only at Homeland Security, also with his friends within the court system in New York City to ensure that she could not leave him. To ensure that if she left, she would be permanently financially destroyed. He went to great lengths to ensure that she could not leave the country with their child. And now this happens. Something is not right. And I recognize fully I am neurodivergent. I hyperfixate on things. I have a strong sense of justice. I acknowledge all of that. But I'm telling you, something is not right here. Something is seriously, seriously wrong with this situation. I've had people reach out to me who have seen her or met her at parties, and I've had 2 people reach out to me who could confirm that they know Amanda in real life and had a personal friendship with her, but they cannot confirm her whereabouts at all anytime after spring of 2025. I literally do not know why mainstream media will not pick up this story and utilize the resources that they have, run an investigative.
I'm picking up this story. I'm definitely picking up this story, and I'm going to go deeper into this. So let's get back to Melania because I don't want to get too far in the weeds, and I don't want to confuse anybody.
And me have been calculating on social media. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein's abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
First Lady Melania Trump's bestie of 20 years, Amanda Ungaro, is unleashing holy hell on X, and with good reason. Here's how it started, and here's how it's going. Stick around.
So these are the 2. They're not married. They're just common law married. That's his this is his baby mama.
Let me tell you something. There is no place more dangerous in this world than the space between a mother and her child.
That's the
And
child.
to quote Bob Dylan, when you got nothing to lose. So yesterday, the First Lady gave a desperate live statement from the White House Grand Foyer. She was visibly shaking as she denied her links to Jeffrey Epstein. Why out of the blue? Because Amanda Ungaro spent 20 years in Melania's inner circle. A woman who was even a UN ambassador is currently threatening to torch the entire administration from an iPhone in Brazil. Amanda Ungaro was there for it all. The Mar-a-Lago New Year's parties, the inauguration, the private UN galas. She was the partner of Paolo Zampoli, the man who literally introduced Donald Trump to Melania. They met when she was just a teenager and he was 32. But when the relationship went south after 2 decades, Zampoli didn't just call a lawyer for custody. He weaponized the full force of the federal government against the woman he called his wife for 19 years to win a custody battle over their American-born teenage son, Giovanni Zampoli. Paolo allegedly coordinated a hit with a high-ranking ICE official named David Venturella and his fellow Kennedy Center board member, Pam Bondi. The result, Amanda was arrested in Miami on a manufactured charge involving a single photo of her hand resting on a laser machine. She was held in ICE detention for 3 months, then deported to Brazil without trial. He kept his seat on the board next to Pam Bondi. He kept his title as presidential special envoy. But then he went too far. A Brazilian court ordered the child returned to his mother, and in total defiance of international law and a direct court order, Paolo Zampoli reportedly snatched the boy from Brazil and fled the country. Amanda has now filed a formal kidnapping complaint. She has nothing left to lose. Amanda is on X right now, posting at Melania saying, "I will take legal action against you and your PDF file husband."
That's it right there. That's it right there. That is the reason why, the main reason why, because there's multiple reasons why Melania Trump went and did this weird, strange, impromptu press conference.
She says that she was put on the Jeffrey Epstein plane for the first time when she was 16 years old.
See? And remember, her and Melania were best friends for over 20 years. So that means Melania was out on that island also. And everything Melania has said was a lie. And she's about to prove it because she was there with Melania for years. I would say decades.
Her agent back then? Jean-Luc Brunel, the same guy I mentioned in the Brett Ratner video, the man who co-ran Epstein's modeling agency and then offed himself in a French prison before he could testify. Sound familiar? Amanda says she has all the receipts, photos, physical abuse, proof of millions in insurance fraud, evidence of government bribery. My question is Amanda Ungaro's silence for sale, or will she choose justice over her own personal interest?
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Nothing Burger. Like, subscribe, and comment below.
So that's her page right there, Amanda Ungaro. And that is the book that I was talking about earlier.
Okay, so Amanda Ungaro's mother sued Paolo Zampoli on September 5th of 2025 for custody and visitation of Amanda and Paolo's child, okay? But this case, Tanya versus Paolo.
So this is 5 days before before Charlie Kirk got popped. So this is 5 days before Charlie Kirk got popped. Does this have anything to do with anything? I don't know. I'm not saying it does, but I'm just bringing that up.
Zampoli does not exist on the county's website that it says it was filed in. And I understand this was like a little over a month ago. Maybe it's been resolved. I have no idea. But like literally, I have scoured public records websites. It does not exist. I cannot find it anywhere. I can't find any other information about this filing other than this right here on like law.com, law.org, whatever. Literally, what is going on? Okay, so I also found Amanda's family's social media. I've found it a while ago, but I'm not sharing it or anything like that. But it appears that like the most recently available photo on Amanda's mother's Facebook of Amanda.
Hold on real quick. What the L says, thank you. I read the therapy part, and the $94 is not bad because I've had a lot of awful therapists. Yes. See, a lot of people talking about my car game. A lot of people have went to therapy and didn't even go back. So they spent the $100 on therapy and it didn't work and they got mad and they just said, well, therapy isn't for me. Well, this card game right here is less than therapy, less money than therapy, but is guaranteed to work because it's a card game and it's interactive. So you play the card game with your mom. How can it not work? Because your mom is going to answer a question and you're going to ask a question. And then the answer that your mom gives you is going to get you closer to any answers that you want with your mother. So it's guaranteed to work compared to just going to therapy. So this is the reason why it's $94, because it's more than therapy in a box. It's a year of therapy in a box. I need to start saying that. It's a year of therapy in a box. So thank you for understanding what the hell.
Goes back to 2012, so nothing recent. But now it looks like Amanda's mother is trying to get custody of the child that Amanda and Paulo have together, but there's also no paper trail of this filing other than the initial alert when the lawsuit was filed. There's no updates at all. I think I need to just start cracking my knuckles and start filing some Freedom of Information Act reports, starting with her Miami arrest. I just don't know. Maybe this is just Amanda's mother trying to get like grandparents' rights. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe Paulo is keeping the child from her as her daughter is MIA. I have no idea, but like this just seemed like a relevant update to share. I'll keep you guys posted because this is not a rabbit hole I'm coming up for air from until we can confirm that this woman is safe and sound. Because the way it's looking right now, it does not appear that she is safe and sound. Okay, so I have some new information for you guys about the Amanda Ungaro and Paulo Zampoli situation. If you're behind, watch the playlist that this video is attached to. So as we know, Paulo Zampoli is the former modeling agent who brought Melania to the United States for Donald Trump back in the 90s and has been in business with Donald Trump since the 90s. They did the whole modeling agencies together. They did the whole real estate world together. Paulo's a United Nations diplomat. He was a part of the first Trump administration, and he is very involved in the current administration. Right, okay, we've been talking about this guy since July. We know. As you guys know, I recently made contact with Amanda Ungaro, and we are now in communication on a regular basis. We know Amanda Ungaro is the mother of Paulo Zampoli's child, who he began grooming at the age of 15 years old. She was a victim of Jeffrey's operation. She was on Jeffrey's plane at just 16 years old. We knew that she was on Jeffrey's plane at 17 years old, per the flight logs that were released by the DOJ in 2021. But since speaking to Amanda, she has confirmed that she was on Jeffrey's plane at the age of 16, earlier than we even realized. Amanda has known John Casablancas since she was 13 years old, and we know Paulo actually grew up with John Casablancas, and John Casablancas is the man who inspired Paulo to become a modeling agent. Amanda was a victim and witness to Jeffrey's operation. She has a lot of information about the inner workings of this operation. She was on Jeffrey's plane with Jean-Luc Brunel. She has a very unique perspective into this entire situation. And as we know and have been reporting on, in June of 2025, Amanda was wrongfully arrested and held in an ICE detention facility for nearly 4 months. After being held for that period of time, she was deported to Brazil without any kind of due process or trial. Amanda has a fantastic team of attorneys who are currently helping her get justice for her wrongful arrest, her wrongful deportation, and the parental kidnapping and alienation of the child that she shares with Paulo. Those are all ongoing proceedings, and on the 21st of this month, Amanda will testify in front of the Supreme Court in New York City. While acknowledging she has years of legal battles ahead of her, we hope that the 21st begins a series of wins for her and her future. With permission from Amanda's legal counsel, she has been given the permission to speak on a wide range of things that have happened to her and are currently happening to her.
Somebody said, where are these kids' parents? Somebody said, why do I blame all of people's problems on mothers? One, I don't do that, but a lot of people's problems come from their mothers. Okay. Not all right. But the reason why so many of these young girls end up with an R. Kelly, a P. Diddy, Cassie Ventura's parents knew about P. Diddy, just as an example. End up on Jeffrey EpiPen's plane at 16. The answer to this is most young women leave their homes at the age of 16 or 17, especially when you're under a single mother. The single mother gets sick of you being there, sick of seeing you not listen to her, and she's ready to put you out at the tender age of 16 and 17. Some of you watching have been put out your mom's house at the tender age of 16 and 17. So that's what happens to these young women, how they end up with the Jeffrey EpiPens, the Donald Trumps, the the R. Kellys of the world, because of their mothers not taking care of them, not protecting them. Most women period, were M-worded by their own mother's brother, by their own mother's babysitter, by their own mother's boyfriend. Most of these traumatic situations that happen to young women are under the household of their mother. See? Sunrise Love said, I was 16. So once again, most females, girls, women, were put out of their mother's house by their mother at the age of 16. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm a male. I didn't go through all that. It's not anything I'm making up. I've been counseling women. I coach women. That's what I do for 7, 8 years. So for anybody wondering, how did these women end up on Jeffrey EpiPen's plane? Their mothers. They put them out. You wonder why all these girls are strippers? You wonder why all these girls are selling their bodies on Figueroa in LA? They didn't have any other choice. They stopped doing they start washing dishes, little stuff like that, and their mothers get pissed off at them, and next thing you know, get out. And then the girl don't have nowhere to go, and they end up prostituting themselves out. This is a fact. So just to answer your question, how did these women end up in these situations with these grown men? Their mothers put them out. Their mothers hand them over to grown men. Aaliyah's mother, with the famous Aaliyah's parents gave her to R. Kelly. The Atriel girl that was still linked with R. Kelly, her parents gave her to R. Kelly. So yes, the mothers, some fathers, but it's mainly a mother situation. They get sick of their daughter being in their house, walking around, looking with a perfect body. The mother's body, she's overweight because she don't had her. She's out of shape because she doesn't go to the gym. She doesn't take care of herself. And she gets sick of seeing this 16-year-old perfect body looking female version of her, young version of her walking around her house and not listening to her. So to a certain degree, she ends up resenting her own daughter because she looks like a perfect rendition of what she used to look like. So she puts her out. It's a thing. Sorry. It's a thing.
And talk about
Y'all might say you're bashing women. No, this is a real thing.
Everything right now, but after some of the upcoming legal proceedings that she has, she will be able to say more. So I'm going to share with you some information that Amanda has given me permission and her legal team have given permission for me to share with you guys. What I'm about to share with you is Amanda's own words. So I'm going to be reading from a screen so I can make sure I say everything correctly. And if you guys want to read this stuff yourself and see receipts and everything like that, you can go over to my Substack. I've already laid it all out and it's published on my page. So I'm going to share this message from Amanda with you guys. And then after that, I'm going to go over a few different names of figures that Amanda has given me. And these are figures who are aware of what's going on within our government.
See, I was an A plus perfect child. Never been in child autistic. I have been through hell. See, I've been. Oh, you said I never been in trouble. I mean, okay, cool. See, that's what I'm saying. She was a straight A little girl, never been in trouble. And next thing you know, she still got put out. by her mother. I'm not making this stuff up. And just because there's a man on social media saying something about a mother doesn't mean he hates women. I'm just telling y'all what y'all wanted an answer to.
And are assisting Paulo in his quest to silence and seek revenge against Amanda. Okay, from Amanda Ungaro, 1/18/2026. This is not family drama. This is a criminal operation. I have witnessed many things since I was a teenage girl who became swept up in this nightmare. I have photos to prove the physical abuse I have experienced at the hands of Paulo. I have proof of his longtime substance use issues. I have information and proof of his fraudulent business dealings and millions of dollars worth of insurance fraud that Paulo has committed. I have proof that me and my family have faced harassment, threats, and blackmail from Paulo for years. I have information and proof of government and public officials being bribed by Paulo. I have.
Hold on. Look what she says. It's so crazy that you say this, Mr. Lego. This is so freaking true. So I'm just letting y'all know it's not me. It's the years of me counseling women and hearing these terrible stories about their mothers. It starts from their mothers. And that's the reason why I created this mother-daughter card game, because millions of women have mother issues. They have mother hunger. They have mother wounds. And they take their mother wounds out on the men that they date. And next thing you know, they can't sustain a good relationship with a man because she has these maladaptive issues from her mother. Yes, this is live. Yes.
Proof Paulo began trying to date me when I was 15 years old. And it is true that
this woman is about to blow up everything. I just need to back up a little bit. She said, what?
Proof of government and public officials being bribed by Paulo. I have proof Paulo began trying to date me when I was 15 years old, and it is true that I was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane as a teenager. I was only 16 years old the first time I was put on his plane. I have proof Paulo abandoned his own mother in a nursing home in Italy after stealing her jewelry and other valuable items. If a man can rip away his own mother's dignity without a...
And right here, this Paulo, whatever his name is a terrible person also. So it's not just women. This man is a piece of garbage. Listen to what he's doing to his own mother. So I'm not just talking about women. This man is a piece of garbage. He's a man.
Second thought, you can imagine what Paulo is capable of. I faced a false arrest based on manufactured charges. I was forced to stay in an ICE detention facility for months before I was deported to Brazil, where I have been fighting for justice. My paperwork and history of work for the United Nations did not stop the government from treating me like an animal. For 3 years before I was wrongfully arrested, I supported myself and my son without financial assistance from Paulo. In the years leading up to my arrest, Paulo and I did not have a romantic relationship following an affair that he had in Washington, D.C. Paulo did call me his wife, and we were together for 19 years, but legally we were never married.
And here's the poll. Some of y'all know how to get to the poll, but I put the poll back up for those of you who see the poll. So can y'all see the poll now? So the poll is on my screen. Can y'all vote now, or can y'all still not see it? Let me know if y'all can see this poll on my screen. I'll figure out if y'all can't, because some people have voted. It's about 20 people who have voted, but I don't know the other people who can't.
At that time, Paulo was only a present father to fit his narrative and to appear to the public as a loving father. I did not keep our son away from him and allowed him to still see his father. I moved to Miami with my son to enter the workforce, really for the first time outside of my 10 years of work for the United Nations. My attempt to be independent and create distance between myself and Paulo enraged him, and everything got worse, especially when I filed for full custody. The court awarding me full custody would mean Paulo would have to pay years of unpaid child support and continue to financially support our son into adulthood. This was not something that fit Paulo's narrative, something he is desperate to control. I was being harassed relentlessly. My family and friends were harassed as well, and even followed in some cases. Shortly after, I began working a job at a medical assistant training school that specializes in minimally invasive procedures. I was associated with a med spa in Miami. Many anonymous complaints began to flood in. The man that I was arrested with was my romantic partner at the time and is now my husband. He is an
Oh, okay. Somebody said you can't see the poll because I had my card game pinned at the top. So I unpinned the card game. Can you see it now? Can you see it now? I unpinned the card game. I'm just trying to see if the poll works. Can y'all see the poll, or is it still not there?
An awarded plastic surgeon of 30 years who conducts teaching seminars across the world. 3 months before being arrested and booked in June, police showed up unannounced to our home. Police came into our home and took me and my partner out in handcuffs. We were thrown against the wall outside of our home, and neighbors began to come outside because of the police presence. They were shocked. We were shocked. Neither of us have a criminal record, yet we were handled with extreme force, humiliated, and made a spectacle out of. We were humiliated. We waited for an hour for the police to get a search warrant. They destroyed our home and found nothing. The officers then went to my workplace and were there for hours. They confiscated equipment, properly approved lasers by regulatory agencies, medical documents, and patient records. They did all this searching for evidence of criminal activity that simply did not exist. Then June came and my partner, now husband, and I were arrested. No one else from the training center or spa were arrested. I was picked up by ICE officers and taken to a detention center. No bail was possible. I felt so broken and confused. I remained imprisoned in that ICE detention center in Miami for 3.5 months, while increasingly absurd accusations were piled on and have yet to be proven. One of the charges placed against me included that I was practicing medicine illegally, which is an absurd lie that the state of Florida has yet to provide evidence to my legal team of. Nothing that my husband and I have been arrested for has been proven in court, yet I was deported without trial. I was not given the opportunity to prove that the charges against me were fabricated. My fate was decided before they put the handcuffs on me.
So she got with another man, and then the polo guy turned around and got both of them arrested.
When I arrived in Brazil, I began the legal process of fighting for custody of my son, and for a moment I was successful. Giovanni was brought to Brazil briefly after my deportation, per court orders, before Paulo illegally removed him from my care and the country, causing me to file a kidnapping complaint. I am still fighting for my son to be rightfully returned to my custody. So that is what Amanda has to share with you guys, what she has permission to share with you guys right now. If you go over to part 2, we're going to go over some of the names who Amanda has given me as figures in our government who have helped assist Paula.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Appears that she might be the reason Melania came out with her press conference out of nowhere yesterday. Now, Melania has done this. All those replies that Amanda made to the FLOTUS45 Melania Trump's account have been deleted. All of them. Gone. Now, we don't know if Amanda deleted them or if the FLOTUS account did, but you can take a guess. The internet is forever, and I've got them, and so do many others. But are we witnessing another major cover-up? This brings more context into what Melania Trump said yesterday, and Amanda's ex and baby daddy, Paolo Zampalli, went on the Daily Mail and said that he is willing to testify before Congress, something the First Lady also said she would do and wants others to do. Now, Zampalli said he's willing to bring 50 other witnesses that were present at a party he hosted back in 1998 at the Kit Kat Club, where he says that he introduced Melania Trump to Donald Trump. So he says he can prove that with all these witnesses. But this begs the question, what does Amanda have? What are they afraid of her releasing? What does she have on all of them that they are so worried about? That has to be so bombshell that Melania Trump held an impromptu press conference without even notifying the president. This is major, guys. We'll see what happens here. Be sure to check back for updates, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
What did this all stem from? Why did Melania Trump come out of nowhere and need to let everybody know that she was never friends with Epstein and Maxwell? Well,
shout out to Nate. Shout out to Valhalla.
It all stems from this. And here is Melania calling on Congress to act. Uh-oh.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized.
Now wait.
Damn, my mom hated my guts and sabotaged my entire life. Get the game, y'all. And even if you don't want to play the game with your mother, because a lot of y'all, sadly, you don't want to play the game with your mom because you and your mom doesn't get along. You can play the game to get, with your kid. So you can make sure you're not doing anything wrong with your kid. You can play the game with your friends. You can play the game with your girlfriends, and your girlfriend can play your mom, and you can play your friend's mom, and y'all can play the game that way. You don't need your mom to play this game. It's just important to go through the motions so you can get it all out. You know what I mean? So you and your female friend can play the game with each other and just play the role of each other's mom and just get it all out.
The second, Melania Trump just confirmed that there is a client list, that there is multiple other people involved with this on top of Big E. Well, now, why is that such a problem? Oh, what was that Kash Patel said?
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself.
Nobody.
There is no credible information. None.
His
If there
lying
were, I
ass.
would bring the case yesterday.
No credible information? You mean Melania Trump, who knew Jeffrey Epstein and knew that it's Donald Trump's best friend for
20 years?
10 years? She's not a credible witness now?
Melania, you in danger, girl. You know that friend that you had got deported? Well, she out of ICE custody, and apparently she on your neck.
Mm-hmm.
Melania, what was going on yesterday? You must have found out your friend got out of ICE custody. Now, before we can talk about that speech Melania gave, we have to actually talk about this article by the New York Times. Now, in this image seen here at the 2021 Mar-a-Lago New Year's Eve party, the woman seen there goes by the name of Amanda Ungaro. She's Brazilian, and she was dating that guy by the name of Mr. Zampoli. Well, they were dating for decades. They had a child. He's about 17 years old now. When they broke up, she ended up moving down to Miami and getting married to a Brazilian doctor. She ended up being caught up in some sort of like scheme, like Medicare fraud or something like that, which again, people are starting to speculate that it came from the baby daddy.
Hold on one second, y'all.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like another light thought, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Well, after she had got arrested, he then called Donald Trump and had her deported to Brazil, her and her Brazilian doctor husband. And then
he got both of them deported, but they ain't taking this line down. They about to fight back and expose everything.
Took custody of their 17-year-old son. The son asked to go to Brazil with his mom, but then was in Brazil, was like, oh, I'd rather come back to the States. So now he's with the dad. Now let's talk about what that has got to do with Melania. Apparently that girl has been on a crusade because she is an Epstein victim. She stated that she had flew into the United States at 17 years old on the Lolita Express, child. And she stated that that's when she had met Melania, and then Melania had then got introduced to Mr. Zampoli, or whatever you say his name. She dated him, and then she turned around and dated Donald Trump, referring to Melania. Yes, honey, they was all dating, if that makes sense. Melania was dating Zampoli, then she turned around and dated Donald Trump. That's how.
But also Jeffrey EpiPen. All these women get passed around, all of them.
They met. Okay, now let's fast forward to Melania's little weird speech she gave trying to separate herself from the Epstein files, right? Apparently, Amanda Ungaro is out of ICE custody, and these are the tweets that she's been putting out since that speech. She said, hello, Melania. I was around you for 20 years, and you know I was inside ICE, and you know what hurts after all this time? I stayed close to your family, your mother and your father, not because of you, but because of them. At events and everything else. So shut your mouth when speaking about me, because I will expose everything I know. And that's what brings us to Melania's speech. Melania also got word that she got out of ICE custody. That's what I think. I think Melania found out, ooh, she out of ICE custody. Let me go ahead and separate myself before my best friend say something. Now, other people are speculating that Melania did this speech to separate herself from Donald Trump. Who knows at this point? But I think it has more to do with Amanda getting out of ICE custody. That's what I think it was. And Melania not helping her. But yes, child, this is a mess. Melania, you a mess. And you should have never helped them put your friend in ICE custody. That was foul.
We have some news right now regarding the Melania Trump Epstein story because a man named Paolo Zampoli is coming out of nowhere to say that he was the one who introduced Melania.
No, what the hell? You said sorry for interrupting the live. No, I'm very interactive with the people in the live chat. So no, you didn't interrupt the live. You made the live more immersive because I like interacting with everybody in live. Now, make sure to put whatever it is that you want me to see in the super chat if you specifically want me to respond. But other than that, yeah, I just randomly respond to different people in the chat. So no, you didn't interrupt the show.
Melania and Donald, not Jeffrey Epstein. After Melania Trump gave her very odd Epstein statement out of nowhere yesterday, Paolo Zampoli, who happens to be a Trump administration official, special representative at the moment, came out, called Sky News out of nowhere and said, no, Melania's right. I'm going to back her up. I introduced the two of them, not Jeffrey Epstein. But here's where things get weirder. The New York Times recently reported that Paolo Zampoli, who is a Trump official, called ICE to detain his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend, Amanda Ungaro, Brazilian model, was detained by ICE in Miami. Ungaro also happens to be the mother of Zampoli's child. And he, seemingly, according to the New York Times, used his leverage as a Trump official to call and get a hold of ICE so that he can get custody of his son. And now,
I want you to think about how terrible of a human you have to be. The mother of your child, you were with this woman for like 19 years. Didn't marry her, but y'all been together for 19 years. And just to get custody of your son, you'll get her detained by ICE. So some of these dudes, well, a lot of these dudes, including Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is running around threatening to wipe out a whole country. So it ain't just women that are bad. These dudes are trash. Some of them. This is terrible.
Now he's the person trying to back up Melania Trump's claims about her relationship or lack thereof with Epstein and whether or not Epstein introduced the two of them, or now it was Zampoli. The plot is thickening. Gotta continue tracking this down. I won't stop. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Look at this picture of the Vice President of the United States with his wife. And who's standing next to his wife? Oh, it's Paolo Zampoli, the international ambassador who has diplomatic immunity, who is all over the Epstein files, who ran a teenage modeling agency right alongside Jean-Luc Brunel, right alongside Jeffrey Epstein, right alongside Donald Trump. Are you noticing a pattern here? Now, you may be asking yourselves, what is a man who ran in the social circles of Jeffrey Epstein and featured all over the Epstein files still doing, being involved so heavily in the presidency of the United States? Yeah, you should be asking yourself that question. You should be asking yourself that question. Why is Paolo Zampoli all over the Epstein files and still all over the White House?
We have some breaking news right now. According to the Washington Post, Donald Trump has informed his entire staff at the White House and his administration that he plans to give them a full pardon. Anyone who has come within 200 feet of the Oval Office will be given a full pardon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Daddy Don has got your back and he's going to give you a full pardon. So buckle up, America, because the corruption has only just begun.
So Melania Trump did her little stupid press conference in order to get ahead of everything. And her hubby, Donald Trump, is letting everybody in his cabinet know that he will give them a pardon once everything falls apart. And like I said before, I don't believe in any president, including good. I think all presidents are terrible people. not to just throw shots at the Obamas, but I remember during COVID, I kept hearing Michelle Obama try to tell black people to take the damn jab every time I turn around because she was on the radio. So Biden is trash. The Obamas are trash. The Trumps are trash. The Clintons are trash. They all are trash. All right. So no matter what president that gets put into office, two things. One, you did not vote for them. They chose for that person to be in office in order for that person to do the bidding of the people that push him that are in the background. And two, no matter what president we have next, they're going to do the same shit. I don't vote for presidents. Y'all can vote for presidents if y'all want to. I vote for local government, but I don't vote for no damn president because we don't have anything to do with it. We're going to continue to go to war no matter what president we have. We're going to continue to have all these problems with gas prices no matter what president we have. And things are not going to change just because the president changes. I think Donald Trump is a huge piece of crap. And I want to show y'all why I think Donald Trump is a huge piece of crap. And I'm going to do a part 2 of what I'm about to play y'all probably another couple days. And I'm going to let y'all know where I've been and why I have not been going live. Also, if I can find, well, I'll talk about that while I'm looking for the Sasha Riley tapes. But the reason why I have not been posting like I was at first is because I needed to sit down and figure out or get an understanding of what has been going on to other content creators, including Baron Coleman. If you don't know, a lot of content creators have been getting lawsuits, have been getting cease and desist, have getting problems from the actual government itself. If you watch what Candace has been saying, she did a live yesterday. When the president of the United States is talking about you, you are in trouble. So these videos that we all are doing, the president of the United States are seeing them. And what the president of the United States or the government or what the DOJ has been doing to certain content creators is they are revoking their passports. So just imagine you talk about Donald Trump, you talk about Erica Kirk, you talk about Charlie Kirk, and next thing you know, your passport gets revoked. So the things that we talk about here are so scary where we can be in a position where we can't leave the damn country due to the fact that we said something about somebody in this space. So I just wanted to sit back, slow down a little bit, pay attention to what's happening to other people, because you go off the rails or say too much or expose too much. Like I had a video that I was going to post, and Alley Top Files knew about it. I backed off because the video was going to expose everything. And I'm not even going to talk about what the video was about because it was so scary for me to talk about, where I'm like, yo, I can turn around and lose everything, lose my YouTube channel, lose my passport. So I just needed to kind of like slow down a little bit, because you could turn around and literally lose everything off of trying to expose these damn people. So that's the reason why I slowed down a little bit. But now that I got my mind right a little bit, because I was a little scared, y'all, I'm going to get back to it. And I'm going to do a part 2 to the Sasha Riley tapes. I'm looking for the Sasha Riley videos now, and I don't know where the hell they are. Maybe I've sent them to my other phone or my other computer, but I'll get back into that in the near future. But let me ask y'all some questions real quick. Have y'all seen other content creators get banned, get their channels throttled, get sued? Other people get cease and desist letters. Have y'all seen other content creators have these problems? Let me know in the chat, because it is getting scary for a lot of us, you know? And shout out to the Candaces, the Baron Colemans that are still going through the lawsuits. They're still going through the problems. Sometimes you just like, yo, I need to slow down a little bit. But yes or no, have y'all seen other content creators mention that they've been getting problems, legal problems, or algorithmic problems from somebody, and possibly Donald Trump himself? Donald Trump is on social media in a crazy way. Okay, I found the Sasha Riley stuff. So put a 1 in the chat if you would like to hear what Trump did to Sasha Riley. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to hear what Trump allegedly did to Sasha Riley, because this is the reason why so many people are having problems. Put a 1 in the chat. You want to hear some of the Sasha Riley tapes if you haven't already. Put a 1 in the chat, because y'all, man, this stuff is so deep. It's so deep. It's just scary. All right, so let's talk about Trump real quick.
To the farm, of course, I'm scared at the farm because I don't know what's going to happen. But the first person that comes up to me is a girl named Patricia. This is a girl that I had been trafficked with before. And she came running up to me and, said hello or whatever. She was about my same age, around 12 or 13. And I can remember my dad saying, well, why don't you guys go run off and or whatever and have fun? We went and found a room. People burst into the room.
So for those who don't know, this is Sasha Riley. I did a show about Sasha Riley, and his stepfather was a pilot for Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein would fly different clients and fly different victims to farmland, to these big old farms where the person owns all of the land and police have no jurisdiction on this farm or on this island, and they would just do bad things to tadpoles. And Sasha Riley is one of the people that, decided to come forward and talk about what was going on. Now, I might have to censor some of this stuff, but I'm just going to play some of this, and I'm going to do a different video about this after I make sure it's safe to talk about.
It would have been 4, 5, 6 guys, big guys.
Hold on a second. Let's see. I am beyond 50. What's up, bro? Yes, Didi with a podcast had to make adjustments to his content for the same reason. Aaron, we should talk about a solution for influencers. Yes, 1000%. 1000%, man. Oh, I know who you are. You in the chat. You in a Scooby-Doo chat. I had to recognize your face. Yeah, we had to do something, man. We got to do something, because it's getting scary, y'all. It's getting scary. They're trying to make it where we can't talk about any of this stuff, or something happened to us, or our licenses, or our passports, or something. So that's the reason why I slowed down a little bit. Because y'all ain't gonna come to my house and pay my bills if something happens.
At least one of them had a gun. I think 2 or 3 of them had guns. But they came in, they shot her while she was still in the bed. They didn't me, but what they said was, if you don't do everything that the next person coming in here wants, we're going to shoot you just like we did her. That's when Trump came in. So that's when
Trump came in. So this guy allegedly, let's just watch. Remember, Sasha Riley was a tadpole at this time. He's in this room. They powed the other tadpole that was in the room, because I'm not even gonna say why, and they just dragged the mattress out of the room and just got her out of there. And then here comes Trump, allegedly.
I remember him so vividly. And it was at that point I had already decided they're probably just going to anyway. I'm going to take him with.
Hold on, let me back it up. Some of y'all like, what? I'm just backing up just a little bit.
They didn't me, but what they said was, if you don't do everything that the next person coming in here wants, we're going to shoot you just like we did her. That's when Trump came in. So that's why I remember him so vividly. And it was at that point I had already decided they're probably just going to anyway. I'm going to take him with them. And I tried, but I did not.
So he tried to unalive the person that wasn't president at the time, but is the president now. And this guy was a kid. So this happened in the 80s or something. All right. So this is not now. This is back in the 90s, the 80s or the 90s. All right. So, yeah.
How did you, Trump's
What did he do?
a sadistic psychopath?
Right here, she asked him, did he do this and do this? You can imagine what this and this is.
Yes. So at one point, well, I kind of acquiesced to whatever things that he wanted to do. But at some point, he wanted me to. So he lay down on his stomach. And there was a wooden.
He wanted to get popped from the back, if you know what that means.
Tent stake that was in the room. And I had been eyeballing it as a weapon.
There was some bat-shaped looking thing that was in the room, and he was eyeing it for a minute. And he was going to use the bat-looking thing or the stick-looking thing.
And what I did was put the condom on the wooden tent stake.
Oh.
And I kicked it as hard as I could. And that's why he had to get life flighted out, because I ripped him open.
Oh. So that's a little bit of it. If you want to look at this that video, I'll drop it in the chat. Just give me a second. And I got it right here. So I'll share that with y'all now because some of y'all did not see it. Let's see, get shareable link. All right, so I'm gonna drop that in the chat, and y'all can go straight over there and watch it now. For those who didn't see it, watch this. I hope they don't end up taking it down because I want to do a part 2, but I kind of like wanted to see if this one was able to survive. All right, so I dropped the link to the Sasha Riley video, and you can watch the whole video there. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do a part 2, but like I said, I just gotta make sure I don't get kicked off of YouTube. So yeah, there's a lot of content creators that are slowing down because they're scared of something happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So everybody, 1, buy my mother-daughter card game, but 2, let me pin the Sasha Riley video at the top. So right now, I need everybody watching to go watch the Sasha Riley video, the full video. I just pinned it at the top of the chat. Go watch that video because yeah. And the reason why this is important is because this young lady, Amanda, what is her name? Hold on. This Amanda woman is about to tell everybody about what Trump did to Sasha Riley and confirm what Sasha Riley is saying or was saying as being true because she was actually there. But her name is Amanda Ungaro. She's about to expose Melania Trump and Donald Trump. So to give you context on what this woman is going to expose about Trump and Melania, watch the Sasha Riley video that I just dropped in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're able to see the Sasha Riley video. Go there now. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. Click the video. Click the link. Click the link. Put a 1 in the chat. Y'all can see the link. I want to make sure the link shows up. Click the link and go watch that video right now. The show is over. The show is over. The show is over. All I'm going to do is play card game commercials as y'all click the link. So I'm going to play card game commercials so y'all can go click the link. And so let's get to it. So I'm playing card game commercials. I'm gonna play the like button video, but everybody click the link and go watch the Sasha Riley video.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be?
That we got along better.
Okay.
The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you, my mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized, like, how hard it is to be a mom. And, like, when you look back at things that maybe, like, made you mad at me, you realize, like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. Just played this card game with my mom and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.
Show any man how to deal with a woman when she's upset. She doesn't want. This video will show any man how to deal with a woman when she's upset. She doesn't want to fight, just like you don't want to fight. But this is all she's known her whole life. Most women were either raised in chaos or raised with neglect. So with her, there's no middle ground. And your job as a man is to be the middle ground, is to ground her, is to be her foundation. See, the middle ground needs to be what she's standing on. It needs to be what keeps her from falling. But she never had a middle ground. So with her is either fight or flight, not staying and talking. See, the reason why she's like this is because she's emotionally irregulated. There's no stability. There's no structure. There's no understanding. Everything she does is wrong. So she gets to the point where if everything she does is wrong, she might as well crash out because that's what people do to her. See, for a lot of women, I'll say most women, yelling and arguing has always been her only way of getting her point across. 1, when she's in her feminine, nobody listens. And 2, her mother yelled at her in order to get her point across. So she literally is operating like her mother operated with her. And she doesn't know any other way of doing things. See, when I see a woman upset and mad in any situation, I don't see this monster. I see a hurt little girl that needs to be acknowledged. I'm not your adversary. That's what this girl is doing in this video. I'm here to offer you something and not take something away. Most men in a woman's past have always taken from her. That's why she's like this. But when she's able to see that you're here to add something to her, emotional regulation, guidance, structure, and the day she gets those things is when she turns into this. This is who she was before somebody stole her heart. Bring a woman her heart back and she'll share it with you forever. And just like in this scene, I'm here to offer you something. This is your heart. For most women, they have a void in their hearts that can only be filled by the acknowledgement of her mother. She needs her mother to affirm her. She needs her mother to apologize to her. She needs her mother to see her. By my mother like daughter card game, if you can relate and you would like the transformation that happened in this scene, get this card game. The link is either under this video, over this video, or in my bio.
What I did was wrong. I'm sorry.
This is all she wants. This video.
Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. Drop your city. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.